meet you, and thanks for joining me on the iX3, where we talk about insight that leads to inspiration, that leads to impact. And I would totally love to hear about the insight that has led you to start Clean Something for Nothing.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. Well, how it started, it was not meant to be a company. It started by feeling bothered by litter. Mm-hmm. Just suddenly, one day, I saw the litter there, and it bothered me. And I decided to do something about it, as simple as going to the kitchen, grab a bag of trash, and 5 minutes or 10 minutes max, I would clean up the path near my home. Mm-hmm. It was something very simple, as you can see. I didn't do any rocket science. But then I realized, like, many clicks happened on my head. I was like, oh, look, I created value in a way. Mm-hmm. And then I thought about the concept of value, and I said, value creation in 5-10 minutes, good for me, but good for my pets, neighbors, anybody passing by is going to appreciate a bit better the place he's walking or driving through. Mm-hmm. I said, that's nice. What if everybody would stop littering and start to do small actions? And then, that's how it started.
Was it instant in that one picking up litters, all of this clicked, or did it take longer?
To be honest, that was a major click. And then another major click was as soon as I went on the internet and social media and I saw more people. I was not the only one. There were many people.
So you just kind of searched for people picking trash or like something?
Hashtag litter picking. Okay. And then I started to see some results.
Okay.
Not too many like today. Mm-hmm. That's a great sign. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go now and do cleanups regularly and post the hashtag Clean Something for Nothing. Okay. That's how it all started. I created this account. Mm-hmm. And then I did a road trip on Eastern Europe. And everywhere I would camp, before taking out tables or chairs, I would just dedicate 5 minutes of my time to clean the area and then post it on Instagram. So eventually this hashtag became kind of viral with 16 or 17,000 posts, which is a very long hashtag to type.
Yeah, it is.
And has a bit more, of merit, as you can say.
But it was pure coincidence. Like you just started posting it and then you started seeing that there are more people using the hashtag posting it, or?
No, look, not all coincidence. I was very consistent publishing. I was also never showing my face. I was just showing a bag of trash, me hanging it and with the finger like that, and then putting the flag of the country it was picked up. And some small motivation, and then more people was also like, I also clean something for nothing, I do clean something for nothing, and and then we built a community, right, by the time, with a few years, because the first bag of trash picked up was in 2019, so I was a hobby with some time ago.
What were you doing before when you started to use the hashtag and started to actually be an active citizen doing something for nothing?
I would never care about picking up trash ever, to be honest. I was not particularly mega... I've been vegan before that time. Then I couldn't handle it for too long, unfortunately, although I absolutely keep on believing on the same things. But it's, I guess, I'm a bit weak on that aspect. But
But in terms of your profession, or was like, of course,
not professional background. I studied international business. I've been working as a salesman and also as purchasing. I've been also head of production before for an international company of interior design and handmade furniture.
Okay. So you were already touching the ecology and kind of like handmade furniture.
In a way, because it was manual, because I was working with a small atelier, but in another way, it was really bad because it was luxury interior design, and some people change the interior of the houses every 2-3 years as like fashion, and it was really not really nice to see. And then I worked in fashion for 3 years, which was even worse. And because this industry is very polluted. But now I think I'm on the track. I'm really happy that I managed to get to work full time on this mission. And
how long did it take you?
Well, it was a long time because, as I said, my friend Lester and me built and launched the app in 2022. before launching.
4 years before you launch it, right?
Yeah. Well, 4 years we were actively in the speaking of trust, building the app during the pandemic. That was the very first push, the app development, and it's been a side job, that's side hustle project.
Right.
Yes.
That's the term.
Correct. Yes, and it's been like that until less than a year ago that I jumped full time and created this social impact company.
That's huge, especially that I remember from your application, and we were looking at judging the project, that you're present in so many countries and you're actually like actively working with organizations around the world. So can you tell us a bit about the process of how, like, okay, so you went from picking trash and using it hashtag, now we have an app. How does it actually work? How do you organize it around? Yes.
Well, pretty natural. So you are on Instagram and you end up following each other, sometimes even commenting, sometimes doing video calls. And when you visit the country, you meet in person and you even know the people by their...
And you mean then you're following, you mean the people who are launching similar initiatives that are making trash or something like that?
Correct. We are, let's say we are an enabler, a software that connects the group, different groups. We have from Rave the Planet Berlin, which is the guys that we used to do of parade. They are very into litter picking after the event. From Berlin litter pickers, for example, or groups in Spain, France, the US, who gather together every now and then to clean up trash.
So is that outside of what you do, was that a thing already, that there were groups of people who are...
There were some.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I see that growing a bit more. I see in litter picking something that is less weird. It's, if you go with the right mentality, it's not weird at all.
Yeah.
Just, it's some exercising. If you do cleanups, you also, it's kind of meditative. When you have the litter picker, is impactful. So I don't see benefits.
Absolutely.
And if somebody looks at you, you shouldn't feel embarrassed. Probably the person would be, reflecting on, why is this person doing that? He's not paid for that. Okay, maybe I shouldn't throw my cigarette on the floor. Or that, that generates, actually it's the fastest way to get to the solution of a litter-free planet, which is our ultimate mission, is to live in a litter-free planet. We were living in a litter-free planet in a way like 200 years ago.
Before we had all the plastic packaging that is now kind of remaining, absolutely.
And if I remember your presentation, right, you were putting how the world and human exist in perspective. We exist here from, as Homo sapiens, from 220,000 years.
Yes.
It's only 200 years that littering exists.
Yeah.
We shouldn't feel like we have to live with that for the rest of the times.
Yeah.
So it's about changing mentalities, quitting littering habits, and taking action for a litter.
It's actually like, I was born in Lithuania in the Soviet occupation, where they were not consumeristic society that had so much of everything. Actually getting products, even bananas was like, a big thing. So let alone all the packaging, plastic packaging that is so freely available now. And we've gone through, I remember literally driving somewhere with my parents where throwing an apple through a window was a totally normal thing to do because it's organic, right? So it will go back to nature. And then we went through the stage of okay, now we're capitalist, democracy, with all these products flooded into Lithuania. And then we went through a phase where people still thought that throwing anything through a window, because that's a normal thing to do, was normal. But actually Lithuania had done a very intense social activation campaign where, in Lithuania, I even heard some Polish people who live in Switzerland. They came to Lithuania and said oh my God, this is so clean. There is no litter on the streets. So I think that our government has done something really well in terms of clear, just from the very young society that we became democracy, instilling in our minds that, it's not the right thing to do. And now that I go to Asia and I see the litter everywhere, I think that, they too have gone through that consumerism expansion recently. And that's why probably it is so littered. But that's me talking for way too long in your interview.
I agree on that point.
But how do you see the world? Do you see that some parts are more keen to establish or have these groups that and participate, or do you see very different approaches to litter across different continents, countries?
I guess in some countries is no, depends on where you put the littering problem on your scale of problems, right? So in some undeveloped countries, it might be not on top of the list, right? There are other more crucial problems to tackle. So that's the only difference. Some countries may not feel as it's as a priority, although the problem might be even bigger than in countries that see it as a priority, right?
Absolutely.
So, for example, we have groups. We have a team leader in Uganda, and even the stratus on the soil has layers of trash in some areas, like different layers of waste.
Oil is starting to produce there, no? Like after millions of years, it'll be.
But yeah. So I see that more people is actively taking the lead, because it's, as I say, it's a fun activity really. If you practice it with the right mindset and right people, you can bring your kids, family. It's like in our app we have people from youngsters to like retired people. Everyone is really welcome, and it's really transversal, like everyone can.
So going back to the question of how do you organize your business now? How does it work? What's the process,
So let's say, in one hand, we have this community of people who pick up the trash, where maybe they have their own team with their own volunteers. And on the other hand, we will never take money from them, obviously. They are doing already a great job. On the contrary, we want to provide more value to them and showcase their efforts. So that's why our Instagram today serves as a showroom for our community. So every month we at least showcase 2 people or groups from our app to our audience, so more people follow them, be inspired by them, and get the ball rolling. So the business model is not with this user base; it's with companies and municipalities. We also work with schools, but so far we haven't received no money. I think they have less budget often. But
dependent on municipality, so it's kind of you're already working at a higher level.
I'm discovering how this process goes. Municipalities goes a bit slow as well, although it makes a lot of sense to implement the app in a municipality level. So that's one of the things we do. We provide the app as a citizen engagement tool. Basically, citizens are part of the solution with the commune, municipality, to either clean trash or either alert of illegal dumping forest everywhere. And then it's very easy through the app to give some small rewards, like free tickets, vouchers, for a swimming pool or whatever, any service that the commune might. So that's one of the proposals, that you pay per subscription. You get 1 year, you pay it.
So as a municipality subscription, that then kind of distributes the app or encourages people to.
He promotes the app, we provide them landing, so every user understands what's going on, the why, the what, and that's it. And then is the company aspect, which is actually the one we are focusing more because they understand really
the CSR, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
For social responsibility.
That's where we work on CSR. So we offer them 3 things. We are now with the sales hat, so anything that gives us money and propels our vision, we will double click on that. So we have organized multiple cleanup events. This is a 2-hour activity with the employees. We do that very nicely with materials and with a small introduction to the littering with facts and things like that. We have drinks, music. It's a big nice thing. We also offer the app as a service, similar to the municipality. Some companies, they want to launch cleanup month or whatever, and they activate multiple branches. The app makes it very easy for all the branches to take action, and at the end of the day, you see a nice reporting of every single user, in this case, employees. And then this the last, for the best for the last, it's our Pick and Plant program. Basically, that's the lazy way for companies to contribute. In lazy in the sense that they just give the money. With this money, we try to double the impact of our community. So that means how every kilo collected in the app means 1 tree planted in agroforestry. And that means that our users, we already launched a nice survey, 85+%, they are likely to clean more, to post more, if they know that every kilo means one tree. So we take out what nature doesn't need and we put back trees. And then we take accountable the company. So our users know that it's thanks to this company that these kilos will be also transformed into trees.
Absolutely.
So everybody gets their share.
And the CO2 offsetting.
And the CO2 offsetting,
Really plays into this.
Yeah, we recently calculated, we give the information yearly and we estimate a maximum of 20 years span of the life of the tree, although it will probably live way longer, but that's what we provide. We don't plant. We have a tree planting partner that is doing an amazing job.
There is actually a winner of WSA, the main one in India, that is specifically planting trees and giving in India, in devastated areas by the climate change where that causes like floods or like, storms and everything. So it would be just interesting if you are to expand or partner with like an organization that already does it, and they also give like, coordinates and the geotag coordinates so that you can monitor how they're growing and all of this. But that's a separate thing that I can potentially look at.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I would be happy, yes.
Yeah. But what do you do with the litter? Okay, and what do you do with the litter? Because that's the most important question. It's collected. What do we do with it now?
So back on the forest.
No, just dig in the ground and wait for the oil?
Actually, that is a very good question, but for now, we don't track the disposal. We have thought about many ways on how to track also what happens afterwards. We know people, of course, they throw it either on the bin or recycle it. Some people even show the photos of how they recycle. So, I cannot tell you what people do with it for now. But we have started a small pilot in Luxembourg for recycling cigarette butts. And why cigarette butt? Because it's the most found item in every cleanup. We have like 137,000 cigarette butts every second, in the world.
Oh, still small. Well.
And one single cigarette butt is able to pollute up to 500 liters of water, or non-salty water. So it's not cotton. Many people think it's cotton, they just throw it. I don't blame them. We are also not into the pointing out fingers. To blame is more like
education.
We have to be aware. Education. We are also, so the things we are doing is tracking recycling of cigarette butts, and we're starting to work with a spin-off to the University of Luxembourg, who has an AI image recognition model they built to recognize type of litter. And that would really bring us a lot of value if we are able to implement it, to understand what kind of litter you pick and then categorize.
So more like through an app, you can
just read a photo of the bead. It works both ways.
And there are so many initiatives of producing 3D printing material out of litter, producing furniture in Bali, for example, this company that is collecting and then turning into very nice modern art furniture and things like that. So it's the whole kind of circular economy becomes very interesting, and then partnerships in that space, if at some point that becomes relevant.
Multiple ways.
But I guess, it's very clever of you as a business thing to do to come, because if we can probably assume that if people cared enough to collect the litter, spend their afternoon doing so, they most likely will not actually do anything.
That's the magic of it. We believe that when you do litter picking, you love the place where you live more. You kind of care more for the thing. You have more mindful consumption. You think, why am I consuming all that much? Like, you will for sure never litter again if you ever did. There are so many positive aspects that happen. You may meet new neighbors, make friendships. For instance, my best friend where I live in Luxembourg is thanks to litter picking. And you might meet really like-minded people. I can only literally say good points, and I'm not here like a guru, but it's totally true. It's only positive to do litter picking.
Absolutely. I totally agree with it. There is not a single negative aspect of it.
Right. And we would not be anything without the community that is behind it, right? Those are the cornerstones of the project, especially the groups of people, local cleanup groups. For us, these are the targets we have to protect and give value and put them here. because those are the real change makers.
Absolutely. And how do you see the growth of the community? How do you see the world of community relationship with litter changing from your experience?
It's hard to say because I don't measure like how many litter was generated year one versus year two in certain countries, so I cannot really tell you. I can tell you my biased impressions, which I think is positive. In Luxembourg, for example, we are finding a bit less litter compared to last year, where in the places where we are cleaning, because we cannot cover the whole areas of the whole country or the whole city. So biased opinion, but still I think it's progressing a little bit, but still a long way to go. Because
To zero litter and stuff.
if you see the budget that is spent every month to clean the streets, that's considered like something that has to be done in every city, right? That's really huge. But okay, I can accept, of course, that even if there is no litter, we have to clean the street. It's normal. But if you also count only littering, like the size of the roads, 13 billion euros only in the EU, just for littering in particular. We are not counting cleaning the streets every morning of litter. That is always. So huge amounts of money, very bad for the environment because it enters into the ocean. 80% of all plastic that you find in the ocean is coming from land, enters the food chain, enters our stomach, and it's really, it also has a lot to do with the consumption. Yeah. Right? Let's not be just like we have to dispose it correctly and we can consume as much. It's also related. Everything is related in a way. You cannot say it's just one or the other. It's always grace. So,
So, in terms of the country that you're at and how you're expanding, is that your conscious choice to kind of go international from the offset, or was it all kind of coincidence more and it's grown naturally?
Naturally, unconscious. We were in English, right? We started with this hashtag in English. It was used by many people here. Language, Spanish speaking or French speaking. So since the community was global, we opened the app from day one to worldwide. So it's available everywhere. And it's translated into English, Spanish, and French. But it was global from day one. Actually, you don't also, it's still niche, right? You will find like 1,000 groups of litter pickers in Spain. It's something still niche. And hopefully our goal is to disappear once the mission is completed, to be honest, because that would mean really
no litter,
like back to 150 years ago.
How long do you think that will take for you to disappear because there is no need?
It's very big problem. So unfortunately, I think long time. Or fortunately for the business, but to be honest, for the mission, it seems a bit far. Yeah. And if you see that consumption keeps on increasing,
But are the people who are participating in increasing in picking litter?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. You can tell, you can easily track. You don't have to believe me. You can track the hashtag litter picking over the years and how frequently it's being used. Or for example, plugging. It's a really nice keyword. Plugging comes from Sweden. Actually, Eric Armstrong invented this word. He is an athlete. And he decided to stop just running, to look at the chrono, and start to run while picking up litter and make Sweden litter-free. And he really have made a huge, he's put the word plug-in international, which comes from plugga, pick and plug, from Swedish. And this guy, and the great thing about this is that it unites the world.
Yes.
Really, regardless education, background, financial income, whatever, we are all there. We are all picking up litter. We are all bending our knees, getting their hands dirty for the same cause. The only planet we have, the only home.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's simple and straightforward.
Are you looking at collaborating between the different initiatives that
we know many of them, and they know us because it's never a competence or a competition. It's more like always collaboration. And I must say always. I've never encountered one group or something that said, I don't want to collaborate with you because no, it's never the case. People from India, Armenia, we have collaborations. many places.
No. What are the most interesting or campaigns that you're super proud of that the community has done around the world?
I can tell you already with the World Cleanup Day. That's the do you know the World Cleanup Day, by the way?
I think I've heard about it, but I
can tell you more.
Please do.
It's the biggest citizen mobilization in the world, originated in Estonia, which 2018. The day is on the 20th of September.
Okay.
This year was part of the UN calendar.
Oh, wow.
So you will even take more and more participation. And to tell you that 19 million people mobilized for one day to clean up wherever they are. And that's really something mega inspiring since we started. It was a coincidence that we started in 2018 as well. I mean, compared to the World Cleanup Day when we started, we were absolutely irrelevant because nobody knew us. And even today, the World Cleanup Day is the common meeting point at the entry door for anybody who wants to get started into this little thing. So I would say I encourage everybody to join the World Cleanup Day. Let your school, university, municipality know about it, and even companies, and you can find your country leader. There's always one country leader. I am the country leader for Luxembourg, but there are so many more country leaders, and you can all be part of the.
So would you say that on this year's World Cleanup Day, how many community members did you contribute to that cleanup? Did you look at that?
The KPIs of Luxembourg,
or you were half.
Hard to know if they do that because of CSFN or because somebody else, or because or they are from working at they come to CSFN after.
Yeah.
No, we should probably have this tracking, but we don't. To be honest, put many tracking.
That's just kind of interesting to know, right? But also for social impact measurement.
What I can tell is that the statistics go like that in the app.
One day or the
week. Yeah. Because in the past it used to be the third Saturday in September. Now it's always the 20 because it's part of the calendar. You can change it. And this time it was a Friday, so people work. So you actually get that peak on the weekend. The weekend as well. So
it's very interesting. In Lithuania, we have a very popular app called Walk 15 that works very much with corporates to actually, do the CSR initiatives of if their employees for the whole month are competing who will collect more steps and actually choosing to walk to work rather than going to, work by car. And they are also partnering with supermarkets to give, discounts for food that people can buy on that, collecting those steps and everything. So there are so many things that, from it's also can be learned and applied in different ways, but to achieve the same goal. Bless you, litter, right? More conscious people, really, because that's what it is, consciousness.
Right. It takes more effort to clean up trash left to walk. That is for sure. But I agree. There's so much to learn from these apps. That has a nice vision for corporates.
Yeah. And let's go back to your business. How many people work with you right now?
So in the team, we are two actually. Lester, which is the mastermind behind the app, full stack developer. He's able to do a lot with a few resources. We always try, since we are very small, we have almost no time with our full-time jobs. We try to, to be do a very wise use of our time. So very bootstrap, try to use it very wisely. Him and me. Although we have recently onboarded 2 volunteers. Myron from Greece is marketing and SEO expert, starting to collaborate on that. Altu Suni, based in Budapest from Albania, is a social media expert. He's exploring other channels such as TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube Shorts, and be more on the Instagram part, because we believe these actions could have a kind of an easy viral.
Absolutely, but especially you already have a use case, right? You've proved that once.
Yeah, but algorithms change now. Hashtags are not useful anymore. It's just the algorithm who actually issue the content. Hashtags are even going to be removed, or in a way not removed, but
the importance of it, I guess.
The importance is growing. So you need to be also very creative. Now it's only video, and we see a lot of noise as well. Anyway, we have to adapt and to get the message out there organically, because we don't have the budget, and we always done it organically.
So would you say, like, in your way to, doing this at the side hustle now to being full-time working, do you see this becoming as your, proper stream of income, like a company that you can manage? Or
I really hope it will be like a proper one. This year we've done revenue, but it's still not something that is enough to get both as a full-time salary or, to get running. But we saw the green leaves, if you could say. And we see with the pick-up plan that it can really scale very, very heavily, because we have a lot of kilos every month, a lot of potential trees to be planted, and this will make more kilos to be collected, more people to be active, and more trees. So I only see positive things out of the pick and plant program.
So your focus now is going to corporates and earning revenue. How would you say is the growth of communities and users? Is it taking care of itself more or less, or do you need to also really?
That's the trick. Absolutely, you have two verticals. One is the organic. It doesn't give you extra money, but it's the core of what you are. And that's why also Tosun is doing a great job with social media, trying to also onboard new users. Although some of the users we have already sticky. Some of them have done 400 plus cleanups in the app, or 300 or hundreds of them. Now we cannot never forget that. And then on the other side, you need to sell, you need to survive, and you need to make money. And also keep the wheel, right?
The wheel going. And I remember that you are not inviting everybody who is picking up litter to register on the app, but it's more the leader of the community. Are you planning to change that? Do you see an opportunity for everybody, every participant of that litter picking community, if they register, then they will become more active? Or is it
would be that I don't force people to register?
Not that you don't force, but from your application, I remember that it's the the leader of the group that registered.
So for example, you may see one cleanup.
But actually, 20 or 30 people participated, right?
Exactly. We need to figure out a way of how to onboard really those other users and give them the reason to do that. And probably the reason could be implementing more gamification features, so they stick to the app more, and they have a bigger reason, like giving the trees, right? Because some people only clean when they are in a team, and they don't go solo. And for those people, maybe we should do something.
It was just a kind of of course, that community is growing organically, which is amazing. Then it's one less thing that you have to think about and focus on as a founder.
I would be how do you call that? Road-led growth. I think it's called this concept. I wish.
No, but that's probably the way to kind of find a way of how each member registers and then becomes even more active, right? On onboard more people.
And we would like to maybe, this is something we have not done yet, but give small incentives to people who invite other people and do their first cleanup. Maybe planting a tree or, to think about ways.
But it's also about you managing your priorities and your roadmap. So what is ahead? What is the most important thing for 2025 for you?
For 2025, ideally, onboard in the Pick Up Plan program companies who actually, want to stick for long term, who see the value. We want to integrate this pick and plant not only in packages, selling you want to buy 500 trees and kilos, then you have. We want to integrate it as part of their business. So we want to make a business that not necessarily is sustainable because it's like a lawyer firm. They cannot do much, for example, about producing paper. But they could implement 1 tree planted and 1 kilo removed per every contract signed or per every onboarding or whatever. So we could integrate with that.
How is that going? How are you finding the sales process within corporates?
At the moment, it's challenging. I'm still for the team building activities and the Apple service is fine. But for the pick and plant, we just launched our new website yesterday.
Congratulations.
While in the airport. And there we will market better our offers. And for the pick and plant, this is where I am focusing full time, most of my time now, to know how to do this approach so that they understand perfectly value proposition, how long it will take to close a deal, and eventually doing a self check-in.
Assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are there.
It's very interesting because you are, in many cases, it's a question of timing, and you are in the right timing because companies are offsetting CO2 emissions through buying kind of science in trees and investing.
It's important for them.
Yeah.
I would love to make them understand the value.
Yeah.
The value of every euro they would invest in us, and we could provide to them in form of reporting. So that's the I think the art is to show them clearly what's the value.
Yeah. How are you planning to do that? Like, are you planning to do one by one solo, or how are you getting your voice heard?
Right. So on one hand, that's why we are also working on the SEO and marketing so that we can provide content of value through blog posts that eventually interest companies and eventually they finance through there. So outbound and inbound marketing. Also, I will do call interactions, so either calling or contacting directly on LinkedIn to potential like CSR managers of companies. And since I am building a kind of a nice LinkedIn profile where I show everything we do, try to build like notoriety and also confidence and trust, right? So they feel more appealing to answer and to get into discussion and then close myself with the video calls.
Yeah.
That's how I've done it so far.
B2B sales, yeah.
Yes, the B2B sales.
Yeah.
And now I'm learning to do these campaigns of email as well.
A lot of things to focus on. As usual, right?
Yeah, and also somebody told me from Generator Incubator in Luxembourg, Mitcham. This man is like, within half an hour he actually did a whole scan of my situation, and I learned so much from him. And he said one thing: keep yourself centered and don't burn out. I think that's crucial to always have that in mind, no matter how many tasks, problems, or whatever.
Yeah.
Keep yourself centered, because if you burn, the whole thing burns, and it doesn't make any sense to reach to that level. So I'm trying to also be very mindful of that.
And that's such a good message and advice for anyone.
I think so.
Like we are living in a society that now sees startups as a good thing and like wants to push it, right? We heard.
So it's like trendy and cool to
get
around that.
Institutions kind of caught up with we need to invest and stimulate innovation. But as founders on the ground actually doing it, that's such an important message, really.
Yeah.
To keep centered and to understand what's right for you.
And to understand that the house can be on fire, but everything is just fine. You have like the beep with the dog holding the cup of coffee.
I'm just fine.
I think it's a learning. It's a long. I love it because I learn so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also I also have a nice support at home. My wife, my son. That also gives me a lot of energy when I go back.
Yeah.
So
So it is possible also to be a startup founder with a family and just like.
I will tell you with the time. I don't know if that's really sustainable. You will find out, I guess.
Time will
because we created the company 1 month after the birth of my little one. And we would like to get a second one. And no more than that. That will be the deal.
No pressure on the shoulders of the dad, right? No, totally fine.
It's fine.
And I'm still fire, drinking coffee.
It's actually fun, but I hope we will get through it.
Yeah.
And also, enjoy every moment, enjoy with your family, try to grasp every bit of life. At these moments as well, try to enjoy every moment, really.
Yeah, and learn from it, right?
I think so, yeah.
Going to my maybe final question, because from your answer I might have more questions, so we'll see.
Okay.
But like, if you had a magic wand and you could change one thing in your area, what would that be?
Well, it's very broad, bro.
It is a good question.
What could I think? Like, what could I change?
Like if you have a magic wand and one wish, what would you wish for? For this obsession of yours to get rid of litter.
Oh, of course, I know it's easy. Quit littering.
Quit littering. I thought that this would be like such a, because you actually responded to that question already, right? Like
Vision statement.
yeah.
Quit littering. So our mission is connecting people, and our vision is a litter-free world in a conscious and collaborative society.
And you will be totally fine to not have this business anymore. Because
Probably there are so many other things to do, right? Like plenty of problems out there to solve, or plenty of nice companies to work for.
Yeah.
I think so.
Did you always care before you started picking up litter about causes greater than your immediate work?
Sorry, about?
About like the causes that affect us all, or kind of doing an impact for society. Did you always care, or
No.
it started
Very
with,
honest.
yeah.
I don't think I've been a bad guy either. I have not especially been, pretty conscious. But as I said, for me, the one amazing thing you can do also is being vegan or eating less meat. That already makes you apart from that, no.
What then?
I have thrown cigarettes on the floor in the past. Cigarette butts.
Yeah.
When I was a small kid. But yeah, I was not aware at all. And where today, I'm the guy who distributes pocket ashtrays in festivals, or, do campaigns and tell everyone about the pollution of the cigarette butts. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it changes.
I think it's never late to take a good change.
That is a very good insight and a message again for the world, really.
Yeah, we don't have to be perfect, but we have to try to be better and
and find that cause that becomes an obsession.
Yeah.
Very quickly on numbers. How many people do you think have actually participated? How many hours are you trying? Like what numbers? Exactly, for the impact. Yeah.
So last time I saw, we had 5,500 cleanups.
And then,
760,000 kilos of trash.
wow.
Yeah, we could maybe say there are less users than cleanups. I would say.
But because you're not registering all the
Oh
users,
yeah, if I registered all the people,
yeah.
maybe a number like this could be 3,000 participants.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Of course, we have more than I would say double I'm doubling the number of users. Probably more than that.
More than that, then. If
Well,
the group, like, what is the
can-
average size of the group? Probably like at
That
least
depends. It can be like 3 people,
Yeah.
sometimes massive ones with 40, 50 people, but
Yeah.
somewhere there. And 71 countries, I said, 6 million to 300 liters, because we measured the volume.
Yeah.
And we have a nice map where everybody can access to all the data.
Yep.
So cleanups, who is cleaning where, and you can see beautiful people in your
I've seen
area.
that.
Okay.
Yep. It's working.
Yes, nice.
Definitely.
And you have challenges. You can also participate with other people, challenge each other.
Yep.
You have leaderboard, compete in a positive way, and level up your profile as you clean up more. We will open more endangered animals now, so you will understand that the more you clean, you level up, and you understand more about endangered species, because I think we've lost about 70% species in the last.
Do you connect that with litter picking?
It's just instead of putting an avatar, just putting an avatar, endangered restriction, and then explaining more about why it's endangered, where are they mainly, and more about the foundation of the animal who is fighting to protect it. Trying to link that our behaviors also influence animals as well.
And also the ecosystems around the world, I guess, because yeah,
Everything we do has an impact, positive or negative.
single planet, single organism, single human species, no?
Now, he has to think about that. Patient, to be honest. I have to get it off the ground still.
Well, I guess that then my goal was achieved.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Cesar. It was absolutely pleasure, and I learned so much.
My pleasure.
And I already am also thinking about ways to connect with the WSC community.
Oh, really?
To help you to
Unlocked.
expand your work, because that's part of like what we're trying to achieve through iX3, is that, like an NWSA, so that you connect the right stakeholders. And then there are so many institutions that are addressing different climate change issues where actually advocacy work on your behalf could help you as, kind of like on B2B sales.
Yeah,
there is a limit, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you go to advocacy and be heard on a wider spectrum and stage, then
All the distribution channels to get across Europe.
yeah,
Happy. Yep.
a pleasure. Thanks.
My
a lot.
pleasure. Thank you so much
Thanks a
for
lot.
having me.
Kind of.
Yes. Good.